Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargava again. Welcome to Tit-Bits on Business and Finance with me. The recent reports by various agencies and authorities, which include the likes of the Reserve Bank of India, IMF, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, Fitch, etc., they all predict a continued slowdown in the Indian economy in the coming years. IMF, in its recent report, has cut down its estimate of the growth in the Indian economy this year from its earlier estimate of 7.5% to 7.3%. And this slowdown is best reflected in the fact that fresh investments in the Indian economy are at a 14-year low. During the tenure of 2007 to 2011, fresh investments in the Indian economy were peaking at 25 lakh crores a year. They were at a disturbing mere 9.5 lakh crores last year. That's the kind of slowdown which has taken place. Corporates are not willing to risk their capital. They are not willing to get into new projects, and resultantly, Indian corporates today are sitting on an aggregate bank balance, an all-time high of 6.5 lakh crores and counting. And when fresh investments don't come in the economy, the ripple effects are felt far and wide, but the worst sufferers are the small and medium enterprises. These enterprises witness a rapid decline on their turnover when difficult times come, and they just don't have the enough financial buffer to be able to withstand a series of bad seasons, which is what it has happened in the current tenure. Thus, small and medium enterprises have been facing immense hardship. This all began during the 2007-2011 period, when there was a rapid build-up of capacity in many sectors. Excess capacity got built up, and this glut in capacity resulted in the failure of many projects. Many projects folded up, and it started discouraging any further investment into the economy. It also led to the build-up of record NPAs that the government is still battling with. The government, the BJP, was slow in recognizing the seriousness of this national crisis. On the other hand, apart from not initiating immediate rectification reforms, the government undertook a series of misdirected economic policies which only disrupted the economy further and added to the woes of the MSME sector. And these economic blunders included the draconian demonetization, which gave a body blow to the MSME sector. It also included a hurried onset of a much needed GST, but on a hurried basis. It also included the heavy-handed tax administration that we are witnessing, which suffocates enterprises, and the mindless corporate tax legislation which is going on, where there is a new rule or regulation month after month, adding to the compliance costs of enterprises and dissuading any further investments into the economy. Thus, investments have been at a 14-year low, and the government, instead of accepting this reality, it gave a very politically motivated response to this crisis. The government did not accept that there is a crisis, but came up with a series of doctors' statistics to say that all is well, but all was not well. The government gave suspect numbers in terms of the employment growth, the levels of unemployment, as also the GDP growth, while the ground reality was something else. The ground reality was that because of these factors like demonetization, etc., enterprises had closed down. Lakhs of small enterprises had closed down. Millions of individuals had lost their jobs. There was a lack of faith in the government policy to such an extent that when GST was announced, millions of small enterprises were even unwilling to register under the GST regime and come into the mainstream of business. The government's response was not good enough. The enterprises continued to struggle and suffer. Their cash flows took a major hit. Their business took a major hit, and many have been fighting for survival. The Prime Minister may not accept this crisis as openly as it needs to be, but as a politician, he is aware of the ground reality. With these sections of society suffering because of lack of business and cash flows, and with the onset of elections, the Prime Minister has been on a virtual loan distribution spree. It all started with the 59-minute loan that the Prime Minister announced in the run-up to the state elections last year in November 2018. It was virtually a loan mela. Loans to be sanctioned within 59 minutes, to be disbursed within 7 to 8 days without any security or collateral in most of the cases. It was meant to assuage the MSME sector, whose cash flows had depleted because of lack of growth. But then, the MSME is not the only sector. The next sector that has been suffering has been the small traders. And recently, as part of this loan mela initiative, as we would call it, addressing a group of traders, an audience of traders at the Talkatoora Stadium at Delhi, the Prime Minister said that if the NDA came to power, it would give loans up to 50 lakhs per trader without any security or guarantee. That is, if the NDA came to power. He said that traders are the backbone of the economy and are its main stakeholder. And he said that this kind of a loan scheme would be announced. While he has taken care of the MSME sector by that 59-minute loan scheme, wherein they say that over 40,000 crores have been disbursed so far, and now he intends to give loans to the traders if he comes back to power. On the other hand, loans continue to be distributed to the smallest sector under the Mudra scheme. Over 8 lakh crores are supposed to have been disbursed to this sector in a very targeted manner, all with an intent to shore up their finances, all with an intent to appease them in the run-up to the elections. But then, these kind of loans are short-term financial steroids. These loans are not any substitute for reforms. These loans are not any substitute for much needed policies that encourage the growth of MSMEs. These loan melas, as I said, are steroids. They are like a dole, and a dole is no substitute for employment. Dole is no substitute for reforms. Dole is no substitute for policies to encourage the MSME sector. So, it looks good that these loans are being announced, but they will not revive the fortunes of this sector. What will revive are much needed reforms. We hope that the new government realizes this and initiates such reforms in an emergency manner. This is Akhilesh Bhargava signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.